Everyone has an opinion on who got the best ending in Malcolm in the Middle, and after watching the reboot, I think most people got it wrong. 6 kids, 1 cramped house, never enough money.
Good one.
Wait.
A mother who ran every room she walked into and didn't apologize for it.
Took a look in here.
Mom, I'm telling you, we didn't do anything.
Oh, you boys are up to something.
A father who meant well and consistently folded. And a grandmother, Ida, who made Lois look gentle by comparison.
I am. Oh, God!
Oh, I am so sorry.
None of the Wilkerson kids had it easy. Their pregnancies weren't planned, their childhoods were chaotic, and the neighborhood hated them.
Wait. Okay, I ran out of ham. One of you has to have egg salad.
Hal came from a wealthy family that disowned him for marrying Lois. Lois grew up with parents who favored her sister and made her feel like an afterthought.
Hey.
Come on in.
So this is certainly unexpected. What brings you all the way down from Canada?
That baggage didn't disappear when they had kids. It got passed down, amplified, and sent out into the world in the form of 6 very different kids. So the question is, given everything they started with, who actually came out on top? Here's my ranking from worst to best. Let's start at the bottom. And look, I say this with love because Reese is one of my favorite characters in the whole show. But objectively, where did he end up? At the end of the original series, Reese becomes head janitor at his old high school.
Why would you ever go home? This job is better than I could ever imagine.
Which sounds like a punchline, and honestly, for Reese, it kind of works. He's taking care of a place, he's showing up for Craig, he found something that fits him. You could argue that's a win.
5 settings heating pad. You listen to me, you really do.
But then the reboot happens, and we find out that in the 20 years since, Reese has been secretly filming Hal getting hurt around the house and monetizing it online. He's selling his underwear to strangers on the internet.
What did you see?
Everything.
He has no relationship, no real direction, and he's getting pushed around by his teenage sibling. Whatever peace he found at the end of the original, it didn't last. Of all the Wilkerson kids, Reese is the one whose life looks the least like progress. Jaime is a difficult one to rank because the show never gave him enough screen time to really know who he is. He arrived in season 4 as a baby, spent most of the original series being chaotic in ways that were funny precisely because he was so small. And then the reboot gives him a Coast Guard uniform and almost nothing else.
I mean, look at these beasts.
What we do know, he's the youngest of the brothers, got the least attention growing up. Lois herself pointed out that while Dewey at least had an empty photo album, Jaime didn't have one at all, and ended up in a military structure.
Dewey, at least we got you a memory book. That's more than we've done for Jaime.
I suppose that makes you feel pretty good about yourselves.
He's doing fine, but fine is the ceiling here. Jaime lands near the bottom, not because his life is bad, but because we simply don't know enough to say it's good. But what we know for sure, he's exactly the kind of guy who would always like and subscribe. Kelly is the hardest to place because the reboot doesn't really show us where Kelly has ended up. They're still living at home, still in the middle of the family dynamic, still figuring things out, which means we're ranking a work in progress.
I'm an informer. It's like being a whistleblower, but mean.
What we can say is that Kelly is sharp, observant, and clearly the most self-aware person in any room they walk into.
I learned your social security number is 987-654327. I learned how to contact the IRS anonymous tip line about unreported video income.
Whether that translates into a good life remains to be seen. Kelly lands in the middle of this list for the same reason they land in the middle of everything else. Not enough information to say more. Now we get into the top 3, and this is where it gets interesting. Francis spent most of the original series being the cautionary tale, shipped off to military school before the show even started.
It's a good opportunity for you to catch up on your homework. Take it from me.
Bouncing from Alabama to Alaska to New Mexico, constantly in conflict with Lois.
What is wrong with you two? You don't have enough problems as it is? I can't believe you boys.
Constantly on the verge of disaster. For most of 7 seasons, Francis looked like the one who was never going to figure it out.
This is what she does. You have to stop her. You have to stop her.
And then quietly, he did. By the finale, he had Piama, a woman who somehow managed to love him through all of it.
Home at 5.
And had finally found some kind of stability, even if the path to get there was messier than anyone expected. And in the reboot, 20 years later, he's in a leadership position with hundreds of people working under him. He and Piama are expecting a child after years of trying.
Guess who's gonna be a grandma? Isn't it amazing? We've been trying for so long, years and years of constant sex.
The tension with Lois hasn't completely disappeared. It probably never will.
Move me up one!
That's not how the list works.
You're only doing this because you get some sort of sick thrill out of making me feel small.
That's it.
But he's calmer now, more settled, and he looks, frankly, incredible. The man does not age. Francis gets third place because he made the longest journey. He had the furthest to come from, and he came the furthest. Malcolm is the obvious winner on paper. Harvard degree, successful charity, a daughter he clearly adores, a relationship with someone who actually sees him.
You don't have to keep proving how smart you are. I really don't care. Oh, except for my taxes. That was awesome.
He's happy in a way he never was as a kid, and he says it himself.
Yeah, I look different. But hey, everything about me is different. I'm happy. I'm successful. I've learned to work productively with idiots.
But here's my hesitation. Malcolm spent his entire life chasing a goal that was handed to him before he was old enough to choose it. Lois had dreamed of becoming president herself. She never finished college, never got there, and Malcolm became the vessel for that dream whether he consented to it or not.
And then you become governor of a mid-sized state, and then you become president.
What?
He became successful, but is the charity really his passion? Or is it the most impressive version of doing what Lois told him to do? He isolated himself from everyone who loved him for over a decade.
So I've arranged my life to ensure absolute minimum contact. My house is a 2-layover flight from anyone. I'm always swamped with work on holidays.
He hid his daughter from his family.
You have a daughter?
He had to be cornered in a bathroom to have an honest conversation with his mother.
President is that what this is about? Malcolm, that was just a plan.
He got there, but the path was messy and the cost was high, and I'm not entirely convinced he's done paying it. Malcolm gets second place. He has the better resume. Dewey has the better life. And here we are, the kid who taught himself piano, who composed operas while his family was too busy surviving to notice,
You still didn't come to my play.
How would you like Malcolm's comic book?
who processed the entire chaos of his childhood through art, quietly, consistently, without anyone asking him to. Lois herself said at one point,
I'm sorry, Malcolm, but you don't get the easy path. You don't get to just have fun and be rich and live the life of luxury.
That's Dewey.
Really?
she was right, just not in the way she meant. Dewey didn't have anything handed to him. He built it himself, from nothing, while being overlooked by almost everyone around him. And by the time we see him in the reboot, he's a world-touring musician who plays for royalty. Could you argue he's missing a stable relationship? Sure, but he's young, he's a musician, and he's living the dream that most artists never get close to. His brothers fought against who they were for years. Dewey just kept going in the direction he always knew he was heading. Of all the Wilkerson kids, Dewey is the only one whose adult life looks exactly like the person he always was. And that's the clearest definition of winning I can think of. That's my ranking. I know a lot of people would put Malcolm at the top, and I get it. But for me, the best ending belongs to the kid nobody noticed. And if the comments on my Lois video are anything to go by, a lot of you have some explaining to do. Go check it out.